Well, Joanna, I think we're live on Facebook. So
Hello, Peter.
hello yourself and hello to all those out there who may be watching. I'm sure there's thousands.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, this is an interesting experience. We don't have any feedback as to who's watching or.
I know.
How
It's
many.
interesting times we're in, for sure.
Yeah, amazing technology. And if it weren't for the pandemic, we wouldn't be doing this sort of thing.
I know. It's wonderful that we could do this and we can reach so many people all at the same time. So it's wonderful. Yeah.
We had a session a little while ago and there were representatives from 7 different countries.
Wow.
That never would have happened last year or the year before. It's amazing. Anyway, we're here. I'm talking to the audience now with Joanna Alexopoulos. I'm Peter Dennis. And we're going to talk about Joanna a little bit and also her channeling. And I'm going to have a chat with the beings that you're going to channel, Joanna. Who are you going to channel? Do you know at this time?
You know what, Peter, I open myself up and I just invite the universe in. So whoever would like to step into and speak today shall come through, and I'm open for whoever, whatever comes through. Could be the ascended masters that have come through for my book, Awaken to Your Truth. It could be Source itself, the universe, highest intelligence that may come through, and that would be wonderful. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, before we get into that, I'm sure our audience would like to know a little about you, who you are. And so could you tell us a little about maybe where you grew up and some of the highlights of your life?
Sure, Peter. I'm from a small city that is outside of Niagara Falls, Canada. The name of the city is St. Catharines, and I grew up there. I'm originally from Greece, came to Canada when I was 3. And I have to say that my life has been very interesting, yet very challenging for me, because I just felt depleted and energetically not in balance all of my life. So at first it was very interesting through my childhood, as I was going through the motions of being a teenager. Especially, I could remember that it was really hard for me to be in the mix of people, friends at school or anywhere in public, because I just didn't feel right. I didn't feel comfortable, and I just felt heaviness, and I felt exhaustion, and I felt loneliness inside of me because I couldn't understand myself. I didn't know why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And being of Greek descent, my mother would say prayers for me because she would attribute it to the evil eye. So I didn't know. Well, I thought, well, okay, it's an evil eye thing. I didn't question it because when she would do this prayer, I would feel better. So I just went with it. But I have to say that it just took hold of my entire life, this evil eye business, which really was negative energy that I was holding on to, lowering vibrations that I was picking up from other people and holding on to as my own, and not being able to release them. So I didn't know at the time, and I didn't know until way into adulthood that I was doing this. And so therefore my life, throughout my life, was a very big challenge for me. I had to force my life through, I have to say, through one day to the next to the next. And even though I, had to do this, I really took it upon myself to do what I really wanted to do, because I just had this inner drive to be more, do more, see more. I was very inquisitive from a very young age. I had this deep sense of knowingness within me that there was much more. And even though I didn't feel well, I did move out of the city. I did what others never did, not being of Greek descent and a girl, a woman, a female, you don't go to university. Well, I did it all. I went to university. I graduated with a degree in classics, and I went ahead and I excavated in Cyprus, which I'm so, it was just an awesome experience, I have to tell you. And I also then after that went into teaching. So I got my certification, and then I fell into my own and became a teacher, and I taught for 30 years. But I have to say, once I got into teaching, that's when I realized that I was home. And it was interesting that I placed myself really in a school that was with students that came from war-torn countries and underprivileged, countries like Afghanistan and Iran and Pakistan and all of the countries that, my students had seen everything. Mm-hmm. And I was teaching English as a second language. So I was their first teacher sort of thing. And it was like, I just felt so that I wanted to take care of these kids. So I really felt at home serving. And all of my life, I felt like I needed to serve, to help people. And even like from a young age, even though I was always sick, I was always the first to help others. I was always the first to want, I jump at the opportunity to be there for someone at my own expense. And then I go home and cry myself to sleep and be alone and not know, why am I feeling so sick? Why am I always feeling sick? And, it got to the point of no return, Peter. It really did, I have to say. But I did get married, and I have a wonderful family, and I did everything that I wanted to do. And on the outside, I looked really strong and independent, and everybody was looking up to me in my own circle of, my family, my relatives. But inside, I was hurting. Inside, I was dying slowly. And even though, I did teach for 30 years, it was a struggle from one day to the next to stand up and be in front of those kids and to do my part and I did everything I could to help them. Mm. So, and basically that's in a nutshell. Now I'm retired. Yeah. And I'm happy to say that I have written a book. And my book is called Awaken to Your Truth, and it is a channel book, and here it is.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little more.
So we are, yeah. I'm so excited to, because that is the basis of my teachings now, because it's channeled wisdom from the Ascended Masters. So it's just, and it came about, this book was published just in time, just at the beginning of our pandemic. So yeah, it's just, I have to say, yeah, I have to talk more about that later.
I want to back you up a little bit first.
Yeah, sure.
You are still a teacher, but you're a spiritual teacher. You've become very spiritual yourself. What would you say was a turning point for you where you kind of got out of that teaching kids English as a second language and kind of making the transition to going down that spiritual path?
Yes, that's a very good question, Peter. I'm telling you, my life has been very interesting, like a very interesting ride. Through all the struggle, all the pain, and all the suffering that I went through my entire life, I finally it reached its peak when I hit 50. So all of my life was like, oh my God, there was no explanation as to why I was sick. The medical field could not understand it. I saw every priest in Toronto. They said prayers for me. They couldn't get it. And there were no answers. I had a happy marriage. I was not depressed. And then I thought, when I reached 50 and I was still teaching, I thought, this is crazy. There has to be an answer as to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So that's when I took it upon myself and I said, you know what, I have to stop. I have to stop searching outside of me for answers and asking others to help me. I have to find the answers myself. And that's when, lo and behold, the universe opened for me. The heavens opened. Information was coming out of nowhere. Everything that I needed to know came to me. through books, through this, through that, through people talking through, so many things came to me that it was crazy. I was devouring one book after the other, spiritual book. And that's how I started the spiritual path of mine. So wanting to know more, like from a child, I wanted to know more. I knew there was more. I always searched for answers. I asked questions, and everybody was like taken aback, like, what are you doing? What are you saying? So then I would shut myself down. But then as an adult now, I took it upon myself to find answers to my own personal pain and struggle. So when I decided to do that, then I was led to this beautiful path of self-discovery. And I came to know myself, who I am, and who I am is a highly sensitive empath. So there's your answer. I was absorbing everybody's pain and everybody's feelings, and I didn't even know I was doing this. So it was a problem for me. But really, in actuality, it is a gift. When you hone into that power and you know how to use it and utilize it, it is a gift. So that was a start at age 50. But then also that's when my first channelings came through.
So you're saying as an empath, you could tune into people and feel what they're feeling.
Yes.
But that would bog you down if they were feeling negative thoughts. So have you learned to maybe set up boundaries or something to keep that under control?
Well, I do know that I have to surround myself with light and love and bring in, and ground myself daily and drink lots of water. And self-care is so very important for all of us, not only empaths. And I do that. I spend a lot of time alone, and I need that. I need time away from the outer noise, from the chaos of the world. I find that I do well when I'm by myself, or and I do rest a lot. I drink water a lot. I'm out in nature a lot, and I like to be alone. And I don't like to be with anybody other than my husband, who is wonderful, and that he knows. He knows who I am, and he gives me my space. He knows. So thankfully, he's great. Yeah.
Well, that's something that I think many women are challenged by. As a hypnotist, I would say about 80% of my clients are women, and probably about 80% of them don't take care of themselves.
No, we don't, do we? Because we're always taking care of others. Yes.
Yeah, and they get sick and stressed and all the rest of it. Well, tell me about channeling. How did that come into your life?
Yeah. So channeling, like I said, started when I started yoga, when I started my spiritual journey, I can say, at age 50. And that was way back in 2005. And I started channeling through dance. And I didn't know what that was at the time, but it was at yoga when our instructor asked us to just dance to this beautiful music that was like high, very energetic music. And so we started dancing, and all of a sudden, my body just took over. So my arms, my legs, my head, my neck, all parts of my body were moving uncontrollably in every which way possible. And I was allowing that to happen because I thought, oh, this is cool. Because, remember, I was always like, oh yeah, I know there's more in life. I wanted to know more about God, more about the afterlife. I was on this search and this quest for knowledge. And I thought, just let it go. Just let go and let flow. So I was letting go and I was letting flow. And, I was doing all kinds of crazy things. And then later I found out that, mind you, everybody else in the class probably thought I was crazy because what they were doing is just following the teacher. So they were like, if the teacher was, moving her hands a certain way, that's what they were doing. The legs, the same thing. Me, I was all over the place, right? And you know how dogs shake it off when they're wet or, yeah. That's what I was doing, shaking. It was shaking it off. And then, there is a name for this. It's called shamanic dance.
Okay.
And it's also called ecstatic dance.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that term.
Yeah, and there's different terms for it, and it's actually widely practiced and in different parts of the world. It's everywhere, and it's a form of release, cleansing and clearing all the negative energy that's inside your body. It's a release. So it's a wonderful, that's actually something that I was practicing a lot, and actually I should get back to doing that again, because it releases all the blockages in your body. Like wherever there is energy that is stuck, it just opens up all the meridians and just lets everything flow, go and flow. Yeah.
I can imagine it's something like an athlete, and maybe many other dancers too. They get in the zone and they're not thinking, they're just doing.
Going, yeah, moving. And yeah, that was my first, actually, I asked every yoga teacher possible what this was. And Peter, I'm telling you, nobody knows. And then I was handed this book by a dear friend, and it's called The Shamanic Something. And I can't remember. And I read it so quickly. And I thought, oh my God, this is me, this is me, this is me. And I was like so happy to know that I'm not crazy. And that this, what's happening to me is not something that I should be ashamed of. Because all of my life I thought, you know, I kept it quiet because I was not like others. And it was really hard for me, a very lonely time throughout my life. I mean, I kept quiet about a lot of things because nobody could understand me. And I was embarrassed about it. I'm like, you know, what do you say to people, you know? But yeah, the shamanic dance thing is a wonderful tool to use for everybody. And you don't have to, you know, think that you have to be like me, and don't get discouraged when you don't, all of a sudden spirit doesn't come through you and takes over. You know, but just go with the music and just keep moving, movement. And it's just a beautiful release. And after that, everything from, I'm talking about channeling, right? Yeah. From that, I started to get visions. And I started to have like orbs coming through. I closed my eyes and I would see visions of blotches of color, like purple and white and green, healing. So Archangel Raphael, and you know, it was just. And then after the light, I remember I had I could visualize people and do long distance healings. So even though during that time I was still sick, I wasn't well, I would help others. And I would help others through, like, they'd call me and say, because I would share this with, I shared it with a few people, and they would be calling me and saying, can you, you know, I'm not feeling my stomach or whatever. And I would literally do a scan of the person's body and hone into where the dysfunction was and pour healing energy there. And then all of a sudden they'd be fine. Wow. And yeah, so besides that, though, I also did hands-on healing, and even for like putting my hand on people for a couple minutes, and then they would be like, the pain would go away. I would do that for my family. And I did that for a while too. So that all happened before I actually started to do automatic writing. My spirit guides came through.
Yeah, that's a form of channeling as well, isn't it? And
yes,
it showed up in the book that you've published, that
yes,
channeled book. Yeah, who is behind that?
Well, my channelings in writing started with channeling my spirit guides when I gave up on life and I almost died in 2012, when I said I had enough, even after all those years of searching and finding answers for myself and my own personal pain and struggle. I still continued to feel sick all the time, and I had had enough. So literally I gave up and I said, God, this is it. Do whatever you want with me. I give up. And I don't want to live. I don't want to live like this. This is no life. When I have to cry in my room by myself, and I don't want to disturb my family or whatever, and I have to be by myself all the time because I'm just not feeling well, and I can't go anywhere because I can't breathe when I'm with other people. What is this, right? It's no way to live. And so that's when the automatic writing came through, and lo and behold, my spirit guides came through and said, wait a minute here. You are not alone. You are not alone, dear one. You are not alone. We are here for you. And it was just a beautiful time after that of writing back and forth. I have filled many journals with writings, conversations with my spirit guides since 2012. And then that led, they paved the way for me to open up to even higher dimensions, and my book came through. They told me from the beginning that I would be writing a book. My book is in fact already out there, and it's doing very well. And I never believed them, because I thought, well, who would care to read my story? Everybody has a story. But at that time, I didn't think that it wouldn't be my story. You know, it would be a guide for the world to use to better their lives, to remember who they are. And at that time, I didn't know. And I thought, well, yeah, right. And I didn't take them seriously. But they kept telling me 2-3 times, they were telling me over the years, you are writing a book when you are ready. And I'm like, what? I'm ready now. Why don't you just like, okay. And I would take it very lightly, right? But then when I sat down one time at the computer, because a good friend of mine got behind me and said, listen, dear friend, you said to me years ago that you would be writing a book. Well, what's up with that? Why haven't you written it? You know? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, what are you waiting for? So then I came home after having lunch with this beautiful friend of mine, a yoga friend, and I sat at the computer and I thought, I don't know, what am I waiting for? And I sat at the keys and I put my hands there and I said, I don't know what I'm writing. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, hello came through. I'm like, what? You know, hello. We are the ascended masters of the 9th dimension. We are so very pleased that you are here with us now. They were so ecstatic. And I'm like, what? You know, so it was wonderful. And that's how the book came through. And that was an interesting process the whole year. It was a very interesting process of development.
I've heard about automatic writing. It's usually cursive writing. This was with a keyboard, was it?
Yes. For years, it was cursive. It was just me with my pen and paper, my journal, and writing conversations back and forth with my spirit guides, who are so wonderful, because, you know, they're just so loving and they're just so gentle and they're just so encouraging, and they're just, you know, they just help you by helping you to understand you know what, lighten up, you know, lighten up, just be happy. Everything is going to be fine. It's just that reassurance you get, you know, they don't tell you what you're going to do. They're not fortune tellers. They're not here to tell you how to, you know, live your life. No.
I'll tell you, overwhelmingly, though, that's the message that we get from the other side is lighten up.
Lighten up, lighten up, laugh more.
Mediums get it all the time from people who've passed over. They say, I'm in great shape, you know, but you guys lighten up. Well, I want to get to the channeling, but I want to just have you describe one more step. You went from automatic writing to what you're doing now, where you're speaking.
Yeah, that was interesting because I went from writing with a pen and to the keyboard, and the masters came through who are in a much higher dimension than the spirit guides. And then I went from that to, because I wanted to use my voice, I was getting tired using my pen. My wrist was sore, and I thought, this is crazy. If I can channel higher dimensions and, you know, non-physical beings through writing, I can certainly channel through my voice. Why not? So I asked them that, and I said, can you help me with this? And they said, sure, whenever you're ready. They always say, whenever you're ready, dear. Whenever you're ready, you can do anything you want. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm ready now. You know, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. You got to let go of that fear. You have this fear inside of you, and you have this judgment inside of you. You have to let that go and let love flow. Let love flow. Let us through. Let us through. You know, don't be afraid. We are here to support you. We love you. We love all of you. And so when I finally let go, I started channeling with my voice, and that happened actually in June of last year. Mm-hmm. And but it has been a slow process of growth, as you know, because you came into my life a couple months ago, and I was still not confident enough to share using my voice. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't as good as you thought, or you were better than you thought you were.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes we have hangups, you know, and we all do. We stop ourselves from moving forward, and that's the problem that we all have, that we doubt. We create insecurity within us. We don't allow ourselves to be the greatness that we are. And we all are that greatness. If we just step out of our way and allow whatever gifts that we have inside of us to come through and unfold for us.
Yeah, a lot of people approach me for channeling because I help them to do that and help them make contact and strengthen the connection, that sort of thing. And they ask if they can channel. Well, yes, almost anybody can channel, but are you ready for channeling?
Yes.
That's the other question, and the more important one, because many people, just as you said, have to get rid of some of the baggage and blockages and that sort of thing. Anyway, what do you see yourself doing in the future with this?
Well, you know what, Peter, I am open, and I am just open to whatever the universe has in store for me. I'm just, loving where I am right now, and it is, it's just a wonderful place to be, and knowing that I'm here to help others, and I can use my gifts to do this. And I think I have a responsibility to use my gift of channeling to share the wisdom that comes through, because if I don't, then I'm not serving anyone, and it would not be a good thing for me to suppress what has been offered to me by God. So, I know that this is just the beginning for me. I know that I'm going to serve in a bigger way, and I don't know what that's going to look like, but I can envision it. I do see it. I do see it, and I know that it's a matter of time for me to be in a bigger, more grander place to serve in a bigger way. And I'm very grateful that I am in this place right now, in this beautiful space that I am, with this knowingness and the inner knowledge that I have and the insight that I have to move in these wonderful directions.
Yeah,
with gratitude and love. Yeah.
Yeah, that openness is so key to channeling.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us who approach channeling just aren't fully open to it. We're reserved, we're holding back, we're fearful, various things, I guess. But yeah, and that's quite contrary to how we're brought up. I spent about 40 years in the world of industry and commerce, and you don't just wait for things to come along. You go out and you make them happen, sort of thing. So it's a whole different shift for me as well. Anyway, I'm sure our audience would love to see you channel. And do you have a clue who's going to come through? Sometimes you get a feeling, and other times you don't.
I have a feeling Source will come through, but we'll see.
Wonderful. Okay, well then.
So Source, God, the universe, whatever you wish to call the all-knowing, may come through, and will announce who they are.
Yes. Well, I'll be ready. And so you just go ahead and get into that state that's required and let them come through.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Now, are we witnessing Source here, or is this one of the masters?
Yes, indeed. Indeed you are.
Source.
We are. We are that. We are that. We are Source. Yes, we are.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for being here. A question that I think is on the minds of many people. We're highly influenced by our media, as you know. But if you listen to the media, it seems like our world is very divided. It's full of injustice, aggression, a lot of suffering and pain going on. And I'm wondering, from your perspective, is it getting better or is it getting worse? And what can an individual do to start moving us towards a more peaceful, unified world?
Yes, dear one, your world is definitely changing and moving into grandeur opportunities and grandeur advancements as we speak. Your world is definitely shifting into higher dimensional states of higher consciousness. Yes, it is. There is a lot of discontent and there is a lot of division amongst you. You are divided in this place that you are now with your media serving you and not because they are indeed bringing you to lower vibrational states by pronouncing to you what you need to know in their knowingness, what you need to know to move forward in your daily routines and in your decisions as you move forward. They are indeed influencing you in most negative ways. We wish for you to know that you need not follow what you are told by your media, by your governments. You need to take responsibility for yourselves, dear ones. You need to know that you are in line with God's truth. You are divine beings, dear ones. You are divine beings, and this in itself holds a high truth. You are divine beings, and in this knowingness, you are already protected. There is nothing you need to do but be in this highest truth that you are. Live in love, dear ones, live in love, not fear. And this is what shall protect you and move you to your greatest advancements on your planet Earth at this time.
That's a little tricky for most humans to listen to the constant bombardment of government and media. Some of the individuals are well known, generally trusted, and yet they're not always telling the truth, but it's very difficult for us to discern that. And I'm wondering if you have any techniques that you would recommend or ways in which we can kind of navigate all of this information and come to that which is true.
Yes, indeed. What you shall do is know that you are intuitively built. You have within you the knowledge that you need to move forward. You need to feel, dear ones, and when you do this and you trust your inner feelings, then you shall not be swayed by what the media and your governments are serving you. What you need to understand is that the more knowledge that you succumb to, the more that you bring into your awareness, the more confused that you shall become. Mm-hmm. Trust and know that it is best for you to refrain from watching all of this that is coming forth to you now. Refrain, dear ones, refrain. There is no need for you to be bombarded with all this that is coming forth. All of the dark forces are in place now to suppress you and to keep you locked and to keep you under their control. And this is the way that they are doing this. They want you to be under their control so that they can continue manipulating you, dear ones. You must understand there's a great shift happening on your world. There's a great awareness and healing energies that are coming forth to support you at this time. Understand that when you are open, you shall receive these healing energies and awareness energies that are coming through. A lot of light is coming through, dear ones, to support you. A lot of light is coming through. You are energetically supported by the highest intelligence. Angels are around you at all times. Masters are here to support you. There's such an army of angels and guides and all divine beings are here for you, dear ones. You must know. You must know this and understand this. You must know and believe this, as this is the truth. This is a truth. There is nothing for you to do. Just be in your quiet. Be in your quiet. Stop the noise. Stop the talking. Stop the listening. Stop. Stop all of this and know that the darkest of darkest forces are here to suppress you. This is their job. This is what they're here to do. They want to keep you locked in your misery as you have been all this millennia, all these years and years and years, and want to keep you where you are. They want you to be under their domain, and you are all now awakening. How wonderful is that? You are all awakening, dear ones. Yes, one by one you are. You are awakening and you're asking questions, and this is the truth that you are. You are. Before you were not. Now you are. You are wanting to know. You are questioning what's coming forth to you. You're questioning, but we are here to tell you there is nothing for you to question. Just be trusting and be aware that we are here to support you, all of us, and God is here for you. And this is there's a divine purpose for why everything is happening at this time. And as you continue to move forward, we want you to know that all you need to do is stay in your quiet. All you need to do is hone into your power. All you need to do is trust. All you need to do is not be swayed by all that is happening, all the chaos in your world. Dear ones, we want you to know that as energy shifts itself, there will be more and more chaos happening in your world. There will be an inevitable disasters, environmental disasters, human disasters. There will be, as energy shifts itself. In order for your world to rebalance itself, things must peak. They are peaking now. They're peaking, and you are coming into this newfound energies that are supporting you. But each one of you must hold your truth. Each one of you must take responsibility for where you are, because you are a collective energy. You must understand you are energetic beings. You must understand that you hold divine power. And when you create from a conscious state of awareness, you are very powerful in most positive ways. But when you are creating your lives in an unconscious state, making decisions because you are scared, making decisions in an unconscious state will bring to you a disastrous outcome. Many of you are choosing to move forward and in this way because you are tired of the pandemic. You are tired. You are tired and you want your lives to continue to flow as it was before. But we are here to tell you are not ready to go back to the way things were before. And they will not go back to the way things were before, but you still need to stay where you are now longer so that you can adjust to the newfound energies that are supporting you at this time. Newfound energies that are supporting you in moving forward, in creating new ways, altered ways of thinking, altered ways of doing. You are here now in this space and time where the world has stopped for you to be adjusting to these frequencies that are coming into you so that they can stabilize within you and help you and support you. So when you do come out of this pandemic, as you call it, you will be ready. And you are already now creating new ways of moving forward in your lives using technology in most positive ways and powerful ways. And we're so very grateful to see you doing this. And you are uniting and you are coming together and understanding that you are one consciousness. But we wish for you to know that you are a collective consciousness, and you hold you are very, very responsible to hold that and to emanate the energy that you have out to your world. When we say you are responsible, we mean that you must emanate the energies that will bring down They will assist in bringing down the dark forces. The energies that will bring down these dark forces are the energies of love, the energies of compassion and joy and humility, the energies of peace. If you continue having anger in your system, in your systems, holding anger, holding sadness, holding grief, holding negative frustration, holding negative thoughts, holding blame, regret. All of these lowering vibrations are supporting these dark forces to stay in their control over you. You must understand this, and you must be more responsible in the energies that you are holding onto and emanating out to your world. Because you and every single one of you come together in a collective field of consciousness, and you create the world where you live. Up until now, you have not been creating consciously, dear ones. You have not. And the result you see before you now. We are asking you now to be more conscious of what you are putting forth.
It seems to me the pandemic has helped us to slow down, evaluate, and if we are to listen carefully for what is true, and it is not external to us, then we have to somehow direct our attention inwardly. And I'm wondering how you see meditation in that. Is that one of the keys for tuning in to what's real?
Yes, dear ones, yes, it is so very true that meditation is the key. Meditation is the key, as meditation is a returnance of you to yourself, dear ones. You are returning to the sacred space within. The sacred space is your home. In meditation, your mind stops. Your overthinking mind, your logical thinking mind does not have control over you when you are in this space. And this will bring in more light and more awareness energies within you when you do this. You must understand the importance of slowing down and being in your quiet place. And only then can you hear without all the noise that is surrounding you. You will be fortified with truth and power. You will be fortified with love, energies of light and compassion, and you will move into your next steps with awareness and with much more confidence in creating your next moments, dear ones.
If I understand it correctly, we humans are really you inhabiting physical bodies to have this human experience. So in essence, we are really source as well. And getting in touch with our inner selves is really getting in touch with God. Is that about right?
Yes, absolutely. This is the truth, dear one. You are coming now into this remembrance that you are spiritual beings. You are. Up until now, you have not understood that. You think that you have a body and a mind, and that's all that there is. This is not all that there is. This is not. You are spiritual beings first, and you are using your body to create experiences, to grow and develop and become better and brighter, and to have an experience on this earth plane. You must do this. You must do this. You must have a body and you must have a mind in order to advance yourselves. You have come here for soul advancement, dear ones. You have come here for soul expansion. So you create experiences for this reason, and you are placed where you are in the families that you are because you have decided to be where you are so that you can learn what you need to learn to grow and develop and become better and brighter. And when you understand this, you understand the power that you are. You understand that you are a part of God. You are God. You have that God spark energy within you, every single one of you, every single one. Some have forgotten completely. Others are coming into their remembrance now, and others are already there. And this is a wonderful truth. And we are all here to help each other. You are all here to help each other. We and you and all. We are here to help each other. We are one. And you must understand that you and us are not separate either. We are not. We are one consciousness, a universe. This is what we are. We are a part of a greater whole. This is who we are. We are oneness, one. And there's no division amongst us. There's no separation between us. There is nothing. We are together. And this is why and how we can speak through people like Joanna that is channeling at this time and bringing messages forth. And this is the truth, dear ones. This is the truth that you and us here are oneness, and you and every single one of you are oneness. You are mirroring each other. So do not be in judgment of one another at all, because you are all oneness. You are all one. What is you are judging in another is in you. So think about that. Next time you judge someone, you remember that you are judging that person because there is something in you that it needs to be healed. Otherwise, you would not be in judgment. So you must understand that you are divine beings of love and light, an extension of the soul, the God that has created you, an extension of that light and love and divine truth of who you are. This is who you are. And you have come here to experience yourselves in your completeness.
Yeah, some humans would say we're all connected, but actually that falls a little bit short. It implies that we're separate from one another, but somehow linked, whereas it's more than that. It's all one.
That is the truth. That is the truth, dear one. That is the truth.
Well, I have my eye on the clock a little bit here, and I'm wondering if maybe by way of wrap up, there might be a singular message that you would like all of humanity to hear. What would it be?
Dear ones, we want you to know that we are always here for you, and we want you to be in this truth of knowingness that you are divine beings, and there is hope. There is great hope for you to know yourselves in your glory of the truth and the love and the light that you are. This is a beginning of a great, great, great advancement in the history of mankind, and you are coming into your truth now. And this is such a wonderful time and place to be. We want you to remember this divine connection that you have with us and all. And know that whatever you are experiencing in your lives right now is for you to move forward in delightful ways. And in order to do that, you must surrender and allow us to lead you and guide you and heal you. And so it is.
Well, thank you very much for that. Thank you for joining us here this evening. It'll be interesting to get some feedback and just see what our audience was about. Thank you very much.
You are most welcome, dear one. You are most welcome. God bless you.
Thank you. Joanna, you just take your time. Come on back when you're ready. Well, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little lightheaded right now, but I'm good. Thank you. That was a long message.
Yes. Yeah, every time they responded to a question, I had about a dozen others that I could have followed up on, but I could see they kind of wanted to move on a little bit too. But I think a lot of information got out in a very short period of time. before we wrap everything up, I want to talk a little more about your book. Now,
Yes.
what is it called? How do we get it? And
Thank you, Peter.
else.
My book is available on Amazon. This is it. It's Awaken to Your Truth. It is channeled energy through ascended masters of the ninth dimension. And it is a guide towards a realization of the divine self and the power that it has to know this and to access and activate the light that is within you. So once it is a guide, like I said, and it is a beautiful narrative that helps you to see and helps you to hone into the power that you are to create the life that you really do deserve. We do all deserve a wonderful life, a life free of stress and struggle and pain. And we're not here to do that, to live a very hard life as we have been until now. We are here to live a life that is free from pain and for our lives to run smoothly without stress and without us forcing our way through lives. And this is a book that can help you to do this. So it came about at the beginning of the pandemic in divine timing, actually, when our world slowed down and there's more, people are now starting to question and they have more time to think. So yeah, and when I was writing it, they were saying that it's coming out in the time that it needs to come out, and I didn't understand it at the time, but now I do most certainly understand why it came out the time that it did. Yes.
Yeah. The thing that impressed me about it is that it seems to operate on almost multi-levels. For an absolute beginner, looking at spiritual concepts and ideas and trying to pursue a spiritual path, there's lots of good stuff in there to get them going. And then for somebody who's really been, wrestling with these concepts for years, there's lots more. I found in pursuing a number of these things that every time I think I understand something, I very quickly find out that there's a lot more to it. And I think this book has got sort of levels of information that, just when you're comfortable with something, you read a few more pages, and, ooh, there's a whole other thing opening up here. Yeah, fabulous book.
Yeah, it is wonderful. And I mean, I pick it up and I open it up and I read, different parts of it. I mean, people can read it from the beginning to the end, but they don't have to. For beginners, I would say just read whatever, just open the book and just wherever you open up to, that's a page for you, and read a paragraph and it probably will resonate with you. For me too, I mean, I've read it obviously I've read it because I've written it. I transcribed it. But I still yeah, I still open it and I'm looking, I'm like, whoa, did I write that? I mean, I didn't really, and I'm like, wow, this is wisdom. This is pure wisdom. And I'm so grateful that it's in, I have it, and it's helping me. It's helping me. I'm here still on a healing journey. We all are.
Well, that's one of the things about channeling that, number one, it's for the channeler. Even though they may be bringing messages from a higher perspective to humanity or to individuals, number one, it's for the channeler, I think. It helps them to develop, raise their vibration, expand their consciousness, develop their spirituality, and all those good things. Then they're in a much better position to help others. But I think channeling's for the channeler first. One other thing, you've got, or we have a series of 3 mornings on Sundays, starting this next Sunday, coming up, where you're going to be channeling and just fielding questions for the most part from the audience. Anything you can add to what I just said? I guess
I'm just looking forward to being able to do that for people, and you can people can join and ask their questions, and Spirit is always open and willing to answer the questions that come forth to help people. So yeah, if you're interested in and coming and joining us. That would be wonderful, and I'd be happy to help you understand life better and whatever challenges that you may be having now. I mean, through me. I mean, this is a responsibility that I have to serve, and channeling is definitely one way that I'm serving and helping people, and I'm just grateful, and I'm looking forward to doing that with you.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't realize that, this can range to the very esoteric, advanced concepts of spirituality, et cetera. But often the questions that are asked pertain to things like a person's health,
Mm-hmm.
their career, their
Mm-hmm.
relationships, money, things that are very down to earth, mundane, everyday, practical stuff. And there's great wisdom and knowledge that comes through these channelings about those kinds of things. I should mention that I put a flyer on and posted it with a little information on the Channeling Connection Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's got all the information. Basically, send me $20 and you're in. If you want all three, send me 50 and you're in, and you get a free book too.
That's wonderful.
Not one of yours, just one of my little ones.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that, Peter. Yeah, and one more thing. I just started a Facebook group page. I just felt the need to do that to serve again, to help people. And I post channelings every week, once a week. I'm doing that. And I post videos and inspirational posts and things. And it's just a small community right now. It's called Awaken to Your Truth. So anybody that would like to join, please do so.
Very good.
And thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Joanna, I think we're done. If I hit the little button up here that says live, stop recording. Yeah. Well,
Thank you for
thanks
having
for
me,
doing
Peter.
this. This was really fun. And yeah, thank you to Source. And yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for having me, Peter.
Right. Bye now.